Well, hi everybody, and now here's a beautiful one. It's called the Cup of Karma. There is a cup held to the lips of those who drink by four great lords of Karma. The draught within the cup must all be drained, down to the nethermost drop ere it is possible to fill the cup with a purer, sweeter one. The seven lords of cosmic love await the hour of filling. The cup is naught. The draught within distills forth, drop by drop. It will not all be drained until the final hour wherein the pilgrim takes the cup. He lifts it from the hands of those who, bending, hold it to his lips. Until that day the cup is held, and in inner blind dismay the pilgrim drinks. After that hour he lifts his head. He sees the light beyond. He takes the cup and with a radiant joy drains to the very dregs. The contents of the cup are changed. The bitter now becomes the sweet. The fiery essence then is lost in cool, life-giving streams. The fire absorbed within has burned and scarred and seared. The draught now taken smooths the burns. It heals the scars and permeates the whole. The four bend down and see the work. They release the cup of karma. The tender lords of cosmic love then mix another draught, and when the cup is empty seen, emptied by conscious will, they pour within that which is needed now for broader, larger living. Until the cup has once been used, filled and drained and seen as naught, it cannot safely hold within that which is later given. But when to utter emptiness the pilgrim drains the cup, then to the world in torment now he turns. With cup in hand, drained once, filled again, and refused to selfish need, he tends the need of struggling men who tread the way with him. The draught of love, of sacred fire, of cool, health-giving streams he lifts, not towards himself, but holds it forth to others. Upon the road of weary man he becomes a lord of power, power gained through work accomplished, power reached through conscious will. Through the cup of karma, drained, he gains the right to serve. Look on, O pilgrim, to the goal. See shining far ahead the glory that envelops and the light that naught can dim. Seize on the cup and swiftly drain, delay not for the pain. The empty cup, the steady hand, the firm and strong endeavor lead to a moment's agony and thence to radiant life. How very beautiful that is, and predicting for us the way which inevitably lies ahead for each of us. Well, let us analyze this a little. This is the cup of karma. It is held in a certain configuration which is appropriate to the individual who has generated it. The cup holds all that must be redeemed, and circumstances guided by inner intelligence of the four great lords of karma direct the individual towards the facing of the karma, the draining of the cup. Of course, it has to be taken, interestingly, within, and there it undergoes or it causes a great transmutation. There's no evading it. One can evade it, but it will be presented and re-presented. Every cause has its effect, and every effect must be faced. That's the meaning of the draft within the cup must all be drained. Everything we have generated of a positive or negative nature must be faced. It's not only the negative here. Down to the nethermost drop, we are the creator and responsible for everything we have created. We, the creator, are responsible for all that we have created. Before, ere it is possible to fill the cup with a purer, sweeter liquid, so we are promised some beauty or some wonderful draft ahead, if we will face the pain. And we all have to face it. It's just a question of how deliberately we do this, whether we are somehow forced to do it or do it consciously. The conscious approach is the right approach. And of course, this draining of the cup is that which we find at the time of the fourth initiation in a conclusive manner. The seven lords of cosmic love await the hour of filling, so it seems the ray lords, or let's call them the planetary ray lords, are those who provide the sweeter draft. So the four lords of karma, well, these fours are always appearing, and these can be, I think, the particularly the shambolic lords of karma. There are also four maharajas in the solar system, but they are operating on a solar systemic level, and I think not on the level of the tiny human being. At the fourth degree, we're having a much more direct connection with our monad, and hence with Shambhala. So these four lords of karma are, in my opinion, are intraplanetary. Of course, they have trodden the path of absolute sonship and know the cosmic mathematics ship, the seventh path, and they have the cosmic what's there? POAS. So anyway, they have the cosmic mathematics to know exactly what should be brought together in this cup in order to make possible the complete redemption of the entire life process over the millions and millions of years. The cup is not, it's just a container. Whoop. Let me just get that straight. It's almost like the body or the vehicle. A container, a body or vehicle, nothing real, but holds the memory of that which must be redeemed. It will be thrown away, of course, at the fourth initiation when the karma has been expiated. The cup will be thrown away at the fourth initiation when the karma is expiated. In a way, the cup is the personality and the chalice is the causal body. We don't have anything really negative in the causal body, but there's much in the memory of the permanent atoms of the personality which demands redemption. The draft within distills forth drop by drop. It's all that has been, all lack of completion and success, all that leads, that has led to disharmony and has worked against the divine plan. But within may be the good as well, and the good karma often delays release, strange as it may seem. It will not be drained until the final hour wherein the pilgrim takes the cup, again at the fourth initiation. He lifts it from the hands of those who bending, let's just say working redemptively on a much lower level than they truly occupy, because they are high beings, redemptively. Okay. So he lifts it from the hands. I mean, there's no evasion. You know, you are confronted with this. There's no escape, nor should there be escape, because it is a privilege to pass through the fourth initiation, DK tells us. Before that privilege is ours, we have to have eradicated the glamour and approach clear-sightedly and not emotionally. Until that day, the cup is held, and no evasion is possible. And in inner blind dismay, the pilgrim drinks. This relates to the negative and dire karma which he must face. Can lead to the loss of life and to the loss of everything, or the loss of life in form and to the loss of everything, the apparent loss. Inner blind dismay. He knows not where it will lead. It is inner, and he is helpless in a way. He knows not. He is helpless and does not know whither, is this it? Whither the drinking will lead. Have I spelled it correctly? Whether. I'm just going to pretend that that is correct. After that hour, he lifts his head and sees the light beyond. So drinking to the dregs brings revelation. Another way of saying, and we've been saying it all along, that renunciation, where are we? Renunciation leads to revelation. He takes the cup and with radiant joy drains to the very dregs. Okay, so now it's not after he drinks, but it's just as he's about to drink that he sees the vision. He sees the vision just as he is about to drink, and drinking, revelation comes. So he knows where it leads, and that gives him courage. Courage is given to drain the cup to the very dregs, because the vision is so real of the revelation to come that he is willing, with courage, to drain the cup to the very bottom. And, you know, think of Socrates. This was very literal. He is given the cup of the poison, hemlock. And is forced to drink, but he does so willingly, who knows what he, a very spiritual man, saw before the drinking. Okay. Well, this is the example. I think the Socratic poisoning through hemlock is a great literal example of draining the cup to the very dregs, and the jailer followed him, and the life gradually went out of him, rising towards the head, in the classical method of dying that DK discusses. And with the drinking, the contents of the cup are changed through the 7 streams or lords of love, the great beings. What are they? What are they? They are the 7 lords of cosmic love. They are the 7 ray lords. I think we have to call them that. The 7 ray lords. Okay. So now the content is changed. Now this lies before all of us, so we might as well get used to the process and the dynamics of the process, which make it possible to approach in a direct and courageous manner. The contents of the cup are changed. The bitter now becomes the sweet. The fiery essence then is lost in cool, life-giving streams. The fire absorbed from the original cup, absorbed within, has burned and scarred and seared. The draught now taken, it's sort of a metaphysical draught, soothes the burns, it heals the scars, and permeates the whole. So there is a second and compensating absorption of that which the 7 lords of love have provided. May the day, when that day comes, may we think back and realize what the Tibetan has told us. Every one of the masters has drained this cup to the very dregs, and perhaps there are higher analogies as the planetary logoi move through their process and have to do this in terms of their cosmic karma and the solar logoi and so forth. The 4 who are most merciful, they're bending down, let's see, bending down far below their, capital T, their station, and see the work, because it is work to do this. We are faced with an inescapable situation that requires our utmost concentration and work. They release the cup of karma. Does it fall to the ground? Does it disappear? Or perhaps this is a repetition in another way of what's happening. The tender lords of cosmic love, now they are tender, exacting first and tender now. Exacting first and tender now. Then mix another draught, each one perhaps contributing his particular blessed content. Mix another draught, and when the cup is emptied by the conscious will, not forced, but chosen, is the first drink. They pour within that which is needed now for broader, larger living, expansion of power and consciousness is the result of the draught mixed and poured by the lords of love. Expansion. Okay. Until the cup has once been used, filled, drained, and seen as naught. Let's see, the lower vehicles are naught in comparison with the high energies now engaged. It cannot safely hold within that which is later given. So this cup, the energies and the various circumstances through which one has passed, and the accomplishments and all that, good and bad, are used, and the four lords fill the cup with that distillation which will make redemption of the past possible. It is consciously drained and really seen as unimportant compared with the higher possibilities. After that, the cup can hold that which is later given by the lords. So all of this has to do with the first draining of the cup. In other words, we have to pass through the bitter in order to realize that which is sweet. All of the kinds of tastes are needed by each other, and in this case, the sweet follows the courage to face and drain the bitter. I mean, we really haven't any idea, I suppose, of all we have gone through and all we have generated over thousands of lives. But the distillation is brought to us by the exacting cosmic mathematicians and presented to us, and nothing is left which would leave unredeemed any past circumstance. But when to utter emptiness the pilgrim drains the cup, then to the world in torment now he turns. He has deep compassion and can serve still more selflessly, having renounced all that stands in the way of full service. With the cup in hand, drained once, filled again, and refused to selfish need, this is good. He does not use the fresh and potent energies selfishly. He tends the need of struggling men who tread the way with him. He's like the Savior who goes to the mountain blue and then comes down, and to those who are still involved in the games, and he signals to them their higher possibilities. The draught of love, of sacred fire, of cool, health-giving streams, he lifts not towards himself, but holds it forth to others. This is very important, because it's not a selfish procedure to be given that higher draft by the lords of love. It, let's just say, the life-giving draft means for him an enhancement of his service. So, passing through the bitter, we are equipped better to serve the Master. Having passed through this, is eminently equipped to serve far more effectively than before he passed through the pain. I guess Karma has a way of catching up with everybody, and the way the great mathematicians arrange it, dealing with the karma becomes kind of a planetary event which signals to watching humanity greater possibilities. When you think of the death of Lincoln, you know, the war was won and he was assassinated shortly after that, and that assassination made him, in a way, an immortal myth figure in the minds of Americans and across the world. It may, unless that had been staged, probably his reputation, his effectiveness would not have been equal to what they now are. So the lords of karma stage this drinking of the cup in such a way as to elevate all of humanity. Upon the road of weary man, we're told that that old figure, tired and sad, called the personality, is there, you know, with its permanent atoms having gone through so much. So we are a figure, tired and sad in our personality nature. Upon the road of weary man, he becomes a lord of power, whatever his ray, because he has the higher powers that the new draft has conferred upon him, these higher powers. Power gained through work accomplished, power reached through conscious will. All of this is passing through the fourth degree, is conscious and deliberate. Through the cup of karma drained, he gains the right to serve, and to serve in a much higher way. Excuse my cough here. Look on, O pilgrim, to the goal. See shining far ahead the glory that envelops, and the light that naught can dim. And, you know, to look on and see the light, to look forward and see the light, maybe capital, is a great encouragement, raising our courage so we can perform that which we might otherwise shrink from. And then these bold words, you know, seize on the cup and swiftly drain, delay not for the pain, the empty cup, the steady hand, you know, with no fear, not shaking, not trembling, purposeful hand with no trembling, unafraid, strengthened by the vision, the firm and strong endeavor, lead to a moment's agony, and thence to radiant life. DK tells us about dying, you know, dying suddenly, how one experiences this as a impending sense of peril, an electric shock, and that's it. So if we believe these things, then we will be in a better position to pass through this experience firmly and without fear, and as an example to others. You know, when people die well, there's something that really holds out to others, some upliftment, some encouraging example that they can imitate. So, you know, what I've been doing is, because these are poetic, you know, I've been rereading them, and I will do so as well. The cup of karma. There is a cup held to the lips of those who drink by four great lords of karma. Now, by the way, I just have to say this deals also with Trishna, or as it's called, thirst. We have been thirsty as human beings, and the thirst for the ordinary things must come to an end. There have been many drinks along the way, And this is, in a way, a final draft. There is a cup held to the lips of those who drink by four great lords of Karma, intra-planetary, I would say. I have to stop elaborating. There is a cup held to the lips of those who drink by four great lords of Karma. The draught within the cup must all be drained down to the nethermost drop, ere it is possible to fill the cup with a purer, sweeter one. The seven lords of cosmic love await the hour of filling. The cup is naught. The draught within distills forth drop by drop. It will not all be drained until the final hour wherein the pilgrim takes the cup. He lifts it from the hand of those who, bending, hold it to his lips. Notice the singular hand. Until that day the cup is held, and in inner blind dismay the pilgrim drinks. After that hour he lifts his head and sees the light beyond. He takes the cup and with a radiant joy drains to the very dregs. He finishes, right? He finishes the draft. Sorry for the elaboration. He takes the cup and with radiant joy drains to the very dregs. The content of the cup are changed. The bitter now becomes the sweet. The fiery essence then is lost in cool, life-giving streams. The fire absorbed, which has burned and scarred and seared. The fire absorbed within has burned and scarred and seared. The draught now taken soothes the burns. It heals the scars and permeates the whole. The four bend down and see the work. They release the cup of karma. The tender lords of cosmic love then mix another draught, and when the cup is empty seen, emptied by the conscious will, they pour within that which is needed now for broader, larger living. Until the cup has once been used, filled, drained, and seen as naught, it cannot safely hold within that which is later given. What would we have here? We would have the misuse of high energies for selfish purposes. And that is avoided by the courageous facing of that which is painful. But when to utter emptiness the pilgrim drains the cup, then to the world in torment now he turns. With cup in hand, drained once, filled again, and refused to selfish needs, he attends the needs of struggling men who tread the way with him. He holds the higher energies for them. The draught of love, of sacred fire, of cool, health-giving streams he lifts, not towards himself, but holds it forth to others. The cup has different uses. Upon the road of weary man he becomes a lord of power. Power gained through work accomplished. Power reached through conscious will. Through the cup of karma drained, he gains the right to serve. Look on, O pilgrim, to the goal. See shining far ahead the glory that envelops and the light that naught can dim. Seize on the cup and swiftly drain. Delay not for the pain. The empty cup, the steady hand, the firm and strong endeavor lead to a moment's agony and thence to radiant life. It's very beautiful, very inspiring, and for those who have to pass through that, which is a great privilege, we are told, bound to be encouraging, conferring courage. These are very beautiful stanzas, and as I say, I just suggest certain things based on what occurs to me. And there's more, and there's deeper, and maybe you will find that more and deeper useful, which will be useful to you.